Hey Hope Fellowship, my name is Aaron Frizzelle and I'm the campus pastor at the Frisco West Campus, and I have the honor of sharing with you day 29 of our Lent devotionals, and it's on Sabbath, but I want to share something with you. There's a quote right at the beginning that says this, by Charles Swindoll. It says, "At least one indication of unbelief is the tendency to measure life's challenges against our own adequacy instead of God's promises." What an incredibly important thing to remember in this time for our nation, for our globe. It's not my opinions, it's not my emotions, it's not my circumstances that determine my confidence, but it's the promises of God. I want to look at Psalm 51, and I'm just going to read the first verse, and we see something very powerful just in the first verse. "Have mercy on me, O God, because of your unfailing love, because of your great compassion, blot out the stain of my sins." Right from the beginning, David points out three things about God. Number one, that he's merciful because he calls out to his mercy. Number two, that his love is unfailing. And number three, that he's compassionate. I've heard mercy described this way, that mercy is not being given what we do deserve, but grace is being given what we don't deserve. And I love looking at and studying the grace of God, because even in our lives right now, we think, whatever is going on in our lives, the grace of God is still continuing to give us strength, to give us wisdom, to give us the ability to move forward in the middle of crazy, unpredictable circumstances. Sometimes we base God's love on the conditions of our lives. I want to read this to you. God's love never stops, even when our circumstances change. And I think it's so important to remember that His love is unfailing. And sometimes it doesn't feel that way. In the middle of some of the circumstances you have going on right now, our love, maybe even towards our spouse or our kids, it feels conditional because we're all contained together. And sometimes we don't want to have true love. Sometimes we don't want to have mercy on our kids because they're getting underneath our skin or whatever happens to be. But the truth is, God's mercy, God's love is unfailing in our lives. The last thing is compassion. I've heard compassion described this way. It's not just caring, but actually doing something about the pain or the injustice that we see. This is what I love about the life of Jesus, and I want us to remember this today. Jesus did not just sit in heaven, look down with the Heavenly Father and say, "Wow, what a broken world." God said, "I'm going to send him to this world that he can walk with us," and that compassion was shown through the life that he lived. I want to remind you today, and this is something that I say all the time for Frisco West, if it's big to you, it's big to God. And I believe with all my heart that he sees you, he hears you, he cares about you today. His compassion is walking with you no matter what's going on in your lives. Look at the rest of Psalm 51. Read that as an encouragement today. I would also encourage you, Psalm 91 is a great passage to look at how God is covering you right now. Even in the time when it feels like nothing else is covering you, the world, in a sense, feels like it's falling apart. God is looking after you today. If you get into a discouraging time, I want to take just this quote and I want you to say this to yourself out loud as many times as you need to be reminded of who God is. I am seen, I am heard, I am deeply loved by God. He has not forgotten me today. I hope that's an encouragement to you. Have a great day, Hope Fellowship. Bye-bye.